Hi gang, Rob here. It is the evening of 30 November 2023. It is Thursday night. It's 9 o'clock. Must be time to sell some knives on the TheApostleP channel, and that is exactly why we're here. Before we get into the meat of it, let's do a little bit of housekeeping as usual. First off, I need you to be familiar with and agreeable to the terms of the sale. I'm going to post them on the screen for you in just a moment. I will also print them in the description underneath this video. Special note, I still haven't corrected my card for the video, so the most up-to-date terms are in the description. Pay special attention to number 6. It involves purchasing extra insurance on your priority mail package. Okay, also in the description, right above the terms, you're going to see 3 links to previous videos on the channel. The first one is called A Primer for Buyers. That video is a 38-minute expanded explanation of how things work and why on this weekly sales event. The second one, entitled FAQs for Consignors, pertains to people who want to use this weekly sales event to move along some of your collection. So if you want to sell some knives on this weekly sale, watch that video and contact me and we'll get rolling. The third link, as always, is to my rates and services video for the TheApostleP Knife Service, the original precision sharpening service for the online knife community. So yes, in that all-important video description, you'll see those 3 links at the top, then the terms of the sale in the middle, then at the bottom, the list of tonight's inventory complete with timestamps on the left side, pricing on the right. In the pricing column, you will generally see 2 numbers, the first of which is the price of your knife as shown in the video. The one on the right is then the price of your knife sharpened by the TheApostleP Knife Service. There will be spots for next day sharpening for the first 4 knives purchased to be sharpened from tonight's sale. If you fall outside that first 4, not to worry. Your sharpened knife will ship in 3 to 4 weeks. If you see the word sold in lieu of pricing in that far right column, that means the knife you're looking at has already been bought and paid for by its new owner. No need to send any inquiries about anything marked sold. All caps, exclamation point. I think that's about it for the preliminaries. Let's get the terms up on the screen for you, and we'll be right back with the sale. Here are the terms. All right, let's get to it, shall we? First up, we have just 5 leftovers from last week's huge sale. Sold a couple of them yesterday late to some pretty sneaky buyers. So the first one we have is from Mcusta, which I believe is a squished together contraction of 2 words, manufactured custom, Japanese made cutlery. And the knife we're looking at is the Tactility from Mcusta, the MC-0123, scaled in delightful black corian. You can see that the pocket clip is going to be tip-up deep carry, and it is ambidextrous. It'll reverse to either side. It is a stainless steel liner lock knife, kind of a swedged spear. Let me wipe my greasy fingerprints off that gorgeous blade. Maybe. VG10 is your blade steel. It's 3 5/8 inches of blade, 4 1/2 handle. So pretty efficient blade to handle ratio. There is some adhesive on the corian I didn't want to get too aggressive with, but that is just glue. It's not a defect in the corian. Lockup is rock solid. Action is smooth but not particularly free. Centering is dead perfect. We'll call it excellent to near mint in box. These are discontinued and out of stock. Last web pricing I could find for them when they still existed was $150. We ran this last week at $100. Didn't sell, dropped it to $80 for the weekend. Still here. Let's go $70 on the Tactility. $95 with an TheApostleP Edge. Next day sharpening is available. Next up, our lone remaining cold steel, and I thought this would have been the first one to sell from last week. It is the Recon 1 Tanto and CTS XHP. We're in the OD Green G10 scales. The right-hand clip is installed. It's got some character. The lefty clip is in the box and it's pristine. Note that the handle scale has been sanded underneath the clip. Here is your blade. What are they? 3 and 7/8 inches of blade. Now this one does have some very superficial scuffs in the black coating. This would be that PVD variety, not the paint. And CTS XHP. Handle length is 5 3/8. Of course, it's a triad lock with Teflon and phosphor bronze washers. Action is super silky and free. Centering is dead down the middle and it locks up like a triad lock. Looks like it's been sharpened as well. We'll call it excellent in box. They're discontinued and out of stock. We ran this last week at $100. Didn't sell, dropped it to 90 for the weekend. Still here. Let's go $80 like it is. 110 with my edge. The Cold Steel Recon 1 Tanto OD PVD XHP. Next up, it is Hinderer time. And this is going to be an XM18 3.5 inch Spanto with the black and tan custom scale installed. The original sand scale is in the baggie along with the original clip and a fill tab and a pivot screw. There is a deep carry clip installed. Flips really well. S35 VN is your blade steel. It has been sharpened, and let's see. Not a horrible edge. Not a particularly stellar edge either. There's your lock engagement. It is rock solid. And the centering on this one is off as adjusted. I would imagine a careful reassembly after cleaning could fix that right up. I'm not sure if that has anything to do with the aftermarket scale or not. Anywho, we'll call it excellent in box. We ran this last week at $350, no takers, dropped it to $325 for the weekend. Still here. Let's go $300 like it is. $325 with an ApostleP edge. No tri-way. This is riding on Teflon washers. That's the Hinderer XM18 3.5 Spanto Tan Plus Custom Scale. You will need that in your email, by the way, because we have a couple other XMs. Speaking of which, another one from Hinderer. This is an XM18 3.5 Fatty Edition with that 3/16 inch blade, and it is a Spanto. And let's see, no additional goodies in that box for you. All titanium, and the flipper tab is marked with the F for fatty. And this is kind of a bronze Arno working finish. It's really, really pretty. Definitely not just a plain gray. Whoops. This is neither a tri-way pivot. It is the old Teflon washer pivot. Rock solid lockup. There's your engagement. Super silky smooth and beautifully centered. So let's see. 3.5 blade, 4 3/4 handle. Gorgeous titanium everywhere. Nice muted working finish. We'll call this one near mint in box. We ran it last week at $475, no takers. Dropped it to $440. And guys, I think these titanium scales add about $200 to the price of these knives. So no takers on Saturday at $440. This week, your price $410. $435 with an ApostleP edge. That's in your inventory as Hinderer XM18 3.5 Spanto fatty, all titanium. Next up, and this is our last Hinderer. There's your box. I'm not sure that's going to tell us much. Old school Hinderer, so pre-tri-way. Another all titanium XM18 3.5. The stonewashed bronze anodized plain titanium scale. And then just a natural stonewash on the business side of the knife. Bronze anode pocket clip, lock bar stabilizer, and then these little shamrock female cups for the body screws. And the bronze anode hardware. You're also going to get a liner and a frag pattern flat dark earth G10 scale. If you decide to go that route, let's see, how's it flip? Beautifully. Oh, and it's a Bowie in S35 VN. Might have had some edge work done, not particularly sharp. There is your lock engagement on the 3.5-inch Bowie blade. It is rock solid. Flipping action is delicious. On Teflon, centering is beautiful. Let's see. We'll call this near mint in box. We opened this one up last week at $450. Dropped it to $420 for the weekend with a couple $100 worth of extra titanium and goodies. Let's see. Let's go $395 this week on this one. $420 if you'd like it sharpened. That's in your inventory as Hinderer XM18 3.5 Bowie all titanium plus FDE. All right, that does it for the leftovers. Let's move on to the fresh stuff. Here comes a knife I have never seen one of before. So there is a custom scale maker that you guys adore named Flytanium. They're making knives now, and we have one. This is the Arcade from Flytanium. It is an interesting knife, made in Taiwan. Titanium scales, natural canvas micarta inlays affixed with screws, a Demco shark lock. And when you see the blade and the blade finishing, you're going to go, huh, that looks like it ought to be an AD 20 point something. Nice little gold anodize on the thumb studs. Pocket clip will be right hand deep carry tip up. And it's going to come with a pair of black G10 scale inserts as well. So what do we got? Yeah, S35 VN blade, 3 3/16 inches long. We got a 4.5-inch handle. Beautiful in the hand. Whoops. Works great. Centering will be dead down the middle. Lockup is dead rock solid. Condition is near mint to like new in box. So these are currently available online. You'll pay $199 plus $21 for the extra G10 scales. We're going to run this one at $160 like it is, $185 with an ApostleP edge. That's the Arcade from Flytanium. Next up, this is such a cool knife, guys. Such a cool knife. So, it's an Arno Bernard. Comes in a nice little box. That means that box is too short for a fixed blade. You're right. This is the Imamba. It is a titanium frame lock folder. Model 8200, solid titanium handle, RWL 34 blade. How about that? And it is a thing of beauty, guys. Looky there. It looks to me like Chris Reeve and Les George had a love child. So here we go. Titanium frame lock, blasted titanium scales, simple, simple, simple. Milled titanium right-hand tip-up pocket clip. A braided lanyard from kangaroo leather. Ball bearing flipper. Stunning drop point blade in RWL 34. Interesting fuller. I imagine you could use, can you use that to open the knife? You could if you wanted to. Blade length is 3 3/8. Handle 4 7/16. Your steel inserted titanium frame lock locks up thusly. It is dead rock solid. Pivot is ball bearings, of course. Centering is dead down the middle. Condition is near mint in box. You might see some very vague beginnings of snail trails just from a little light handling, but that's it. These are $450 web retail, but I think they might be gone, maybe. I did find one sold listing at Arizona Custom Knives at $350. We're going to run this one at $325 like it is, $350 with an ApostleP edge. That's the Arno Bernard Imamba. Next up, well, we had a scale maker that is now making knives. Now we have a flashlight maker that's making knives. It's an Oknife folding pocket knife. There's your model. What does that mean? I don't know. Well, yeah, I do. It means it is the metal, the M-E-T-T-L-E from Oknife. They make this knife in several variations. This is wearing the gray, the gunmetal gray hard anodized aluminum scales. Everything else is black. We got an ambidextrous deep carry tip up pocket clip, and we got a stainless steel, no we don't, we got a button lock mechanism and a flipper and a ball bearing pivot. Nice detent for a button lock flipper. What else can I tell you? 3 1/4 inch blade, 4 5/16 handle, rock solid lockup. Beautiful ball bearing action. Blade centering is hard to see, but it is perfect. We'll call this one near mint to like new in box. These are selling brand new with this scale configuration for $90. Let's run this one at $65 as it is. $90 with an ApostleP edge. That's the Oknife Mettle. Next up. This is interesting. I've seen Bestech knives, and I've seen Bestman as a knife model, but I've never seen the brand Bestechman. But that's what we got here. I love it when the Chinese try to speak English. And the model inside is the BMK04E, better known as the Goodboy. The Goodboy from Bestechman. Yep. We have what I would call Desert Tan G10 scales. We got a tip-up deep carry pocket clip that will be ambidextrous. We got thumb studs on ball bearings. Black coated blade. Got a little tip reinforcement thing going on. Kind of like a Tanto, but not quite. D2 blade, 3 1/2 inches in length, 4 11/16 handle. Button lock locks up great. Ball bearings are nice and free. The centering is dead down the middle. It is near mint to like new in box. This would be a good brother-in-law knife. Nice little stocking stuffer. You can buy them new for $54 on the web. Probably got to pay sales tax and postage on top of that. Let's do this one at $40 all in, shipped priority mail. $65 with an ApostleP edge. That's the Bestechman Goodboy. Next up, ooh guys, any old Lone Wolf fans in the crowd tonight? We have a Lone Wolf box, and it's a thicker box. Because it holds a little EDC fixed blade, a little hunting knife. It is the XC24400 Trailmate in amber jigged bone. And guys, back in the day, Lone Wolf did some awesome jigging, and this knife is no exception. If this sheath looks familiar, I think this is the exact same sheath that goes on a Bradford Guardian. Have they been making that sheath this long? because this is not a new knife. This far precedes the Benchmade buyout and killing of Lone Wolf. So let's see what we got. We have a blade designed by Stephen Kelly. 3 7/16 inch blade with a bidirectional satin, really good looking finish. 154 cm is your blade steel. We'll call it a swedged spear point. And then look at that amber jig bone. Just delicious. In the hand, it's kind of like a Murray Carter knife, which is to say really, really nice in the hand. This one is near mint to like new in box, long discontinued and out of stock. And I could find 0 records of any of them sold or currently for sale. So if you are a Lone Wolf person, you don't have one of these, here you go. Your price $160 like it is, $185 with an Apostle P edge. That's the Lone Wolf Trailmate. Beautiful knife. Next up, another small EDC fixed blade. This one from TM Hunt. And this is his Hedgehog. A little custom fixed blade. Comes in a nicely made and waterproof treated leather sheath. And here's the knife. Not sure what the blade treatment is as far as finish. It could just be heat treat scale, I suppose. Looks like it. It is crafted of 01 tool steel, 2 3/4 inches of blade. Stock looks like 1/8 inches, maybe a little less, 1/8 of an inch, maybe less. 3 13/16 inch handle and natural canvas micarta. And the pins, I don't know if you can see them, but those are also natural canvas micarta. A little lanyard tube at the back. Another little yummy one in the hand. Oh my, yes sirree, Bob. That's kind of beautiful. So DLT Trading has these in stock right now for $260. And this has had the edge touched up, not particularly well. We could make it better. But for what you're going to pay for it, you're going to want me to sharpen it. Your price $130 like it is, $155 with an Apostle P edge. That is the TM Hunt Hedgehog fixed blade. Next up, let's see, is this our last fixed blade? It is. This is from maker Kyle Noseworthy. Yes, that's really his name, Kyle Noseworthy. And the model is the Bakeapple. One word, no D. Bakeapple. Comes in a little natural veg tan leather sheath. Pretty cool little knife. Sort of a low saber ground straight spine blade in 01. Looks like 1/8 inch stock. Scaled in burlap micarta and brass pins. It's a little pinky hanging out in the back knife. 01 steel. Blade is 2 13/16 inches in length. The handle is 3 3/16. We'll call it near mint, no box. You can currently buy these direct from Kyle on his website for $165 Canadian, which is $122 US, but then you're going to pay international postage, so probably going to be about $140, $145 all in. Let's do this one at $100 like it is. $125 sharpen, and that is all in, shipped, priority mail. The Kyle Noseworthy Bakeapple fixed blade. Next up, we got a little run of Swiss Army knives, and these are all going to be very near mint, no box, but certainly suitable for stocking stuffers. The first one is a model I don't remember ever seeing. It's the Victorinox Compact. It is on the 91mm frame. It is sporting a red factory Victorinox lanyard. Let's go through the tool set. Main spear. Can opener screwdriver. Scissors. I believe that's it on top. In the back, we got a parcel hook with a nail file in the spine. Then I have a corkscrew with jeweler's screwdriver and a straight pin. Toothpick, tweezer, ballpoint pen. Always fun to get these back in the handle. There we go. So yeah, pretty cool model. Don't see them a lot. The compact. These are $59 web retail, currently for sale on Midway USA. This one can be yours all in. Shipped priority mail, $40. Like it is, $60. I sharpen the main blade. That's the Victorinox compact. Next up, another one. This is the Victorinox Mountaineer, also on the 91mm frame, wearing that accessory Victorinox factory lanyard. So I got main spear, then a pen, big old file, scissors, and then I got your normal set over here. We go to the spine. I got a corkscrew, no straight pin, all with sewing eye, and a, come on. Really, I know there's a parcel hook in here somewhere. Very hard to get to with the split ring. Come on, baby. There is a parcel hook, but man, hard to dig it out. There we go. And, you know, tweezers, toothpick. Again, near mint, no box. Web price of these about $60 at a couple different sites. Let's go 40. Near mint, no box. 70, I sharpen both blades. That's the Victorinox Mountaineer. Next up, another model we don't see a lot of from Victorinox. This one is the Handyman. Scaled in red, 91mm frame. It's working its way up to Swiss champ, isn't it? So I got a main blade, spear point. Do I have a secondary pen? I do. I got the big file. I got scissors. I got pliers. And I have the normal accessory tools. Looks like it's going to be toothpick tweezers, corkscrew with jeweler's screwdriver, and a straight pin. What do we got here? I have a little screwdriver or a scraper. I have a parcel hook, and I have an all with the sewing eye and the lanyard. That's the Handyman. Near mint, no box. Web price of these brand new, about $98. This one you can have for $65 like it is. $95, I sharpen both blades. That's the Handyman from Victorinox. We just keep getting bigger. Here we go, boys. The Mama Jamba. This is the Swiss champ. 91mm frame, red scales. You ready? Main spear, secondary pen, can opener, screwdriver. Oh, let's get some focus. Get some focus here, baby. All right. We got a Phillips screwdriver. We got a magnifying glass. We got, come on out of there, pliers. We got scissors. I think that takes care of the front. Did I show you the big file? Okay, let's go to the back. Toothpick, ballpoint pen, tweezers, corkscrew with jeweler's screwdriver and straight pen, a small screwdriver or scraper, parcel hook, and all with sewing eye with the factory Victorinox lanyard. That's the Swiss champ. You can buy these brand new for $107. This is definitely a near mint, no box knife. Just some very light carry wear on the scales, very light, like super light. Let's do $75 shipped priority mail, $105. I sharpen both blades on the Swiss champ from Victorinox. And our last Victorinox, one of my all-time favorites, by the way, is the Pioneer. So natural A-locks, factory Victorinox lanyard, 93mm frame. So the Pioneer is basically the old Soldier with the split ring added, right? The old Soldier, before the big plastic handled one, was this knife. So you got the main spear, the can opener, small screwdriver, the large screwdriver, bottle opener, wire cutter, and then a different awl than we're used to seeing, right? And that's it. And a split ring and a factory Victorinox lanyard. This is going to be near mint, no box, a beautiful knife. $48 if you want to buy one brand new, or that'll probably have to pay you know, some shipping and some tax. Or just buy this one, 35 bucks, all in, shipped priority mail, 55 with my edge on the blade. That's the Victorinox Pioneer. Next up, it is Petrified fish time. So their packaging is pretty basic. It's a slide-out box, and then there's no labeling of any kind. It's probably better that way. This is the Beluga from Petrified Fish. I guess we'd call this the murdered one, wouldn't we? So we have some 3D machine satin G10 scales in black. Got a tip-up deep carry pocket clip that looks like it is going to be ambidextrous. You got a front flipper. Can I flip it? Heck yeah. It is some kind of a black coated and then tumbled blade. The steel is K110, 3 5/8 inches in length. Stainless steel liner lock mechanism. There's your lock engagement. It's rock solid. Ball bearing action. The handle length is 4 5/8. So perfect action, centering, lockup. It is like new in the box. You can buy these brand new at your favorite web retailer for $47 plus tax and shipping. This one is yours, all in, 35 bucks, shipped priority mail. 60 if you would like my edge on it. That is the Petrified Fish Beluga. Next up, another one from PF. Petrified Fish. This is a model of theirs I have not seen. It is the Warrior. Yes. I am the warrior, said Patty Smythe of Scandal. Now, it took me a while to find out what handle material this is. I could have just read my seller's notes. This is ebony wood. They make what they call a wood carbon fiber, which is kind of all the grain going the same way. I thought maybe that's what this is, but no. It's ebony wood. Pretty cool. We have a right-hand tip-up deep carry pocket clip with some kind of a graphic on it. We got a ball bearing flipper. K110 steel. Again, that black-coated tumbled blade finish. It is a liner lock knife. There's your engagement. And it's a ball bearing flipper. 3 1/2 blade, 4 7/8 handle. Rock solid lockup. Smooth ball bearing action and perfect centering. We will call this near mint in box. You can buy them brand new for 54 bucks. Although I could not find the ebony, so I'm not sure how much the ebony cost. Might have been a little more. But you'd probably pay tax and postage on top of that. Or just buy this one. $40 all in, shipped priority mail, 65 with my edge. The Warrior from Petrified Fish. Well, if we're going to sell some Petrified Fish, we should probably sell some Tucson. That's what we're going to do. Next up, from Tucson in the basic box, proudly designed and made in Yangjiang, China. It's a TS303. Ooh. It is a button lock ball bearing knife. Titanium bolsters, carbon fiber scales. Milled titanium right hand tip up pocket clip. Thumb stud deployment. Button lock. Thwack. Centering's right down the middle. Lockup's rock solid. I got an M390 blade, tumbled DLC. Kind of a spear point, kind of good looking. Looks like you can sneak up here with your finger. You can. The handle length is 5 1/8, not a short handle. Kind of got a little Benchmade 710 profile going on. Pretty cool. The carbon fiber is milled to the same contour as the bolsters. Very nice. We'll call this one near mint in box. Got a little oil in the mechanism making that button have a little stick. It'll clean up just fine, I'm sure. Brand new price on these is $130 web retail. Let's do this one at $100 like it is. $130 with an ApostleP edge on the M390 blade, the Tucson TS303. Time to turn the page. Next up is another one from Tucson. Designed and made in Yangjiang, China. TS313 is the model. This is a pretty cool knife. Another button lock, scaled in beautifully machined titanium. Milled titanium right-hand tip-up pocket clip. Gear pattern backspacer with a nicely hidden lanyard attachment. Thumb stud deployment, ball bearing pivot, and a beautifully finished M390 Tanto blade. Hollow ground main, flat ground at the front, and then a swedge. 1, 2, 3, 4 directions on the satin. The button lock mechanism locks up nicely. Ball bearings are super free. Centering is perfect. We got 3 3/8 inches of blade, 4 11/16 inches of handle. Whoops, I'm looking for a frame lock. There is none. These are out of stock. When they were available brand new, they were at $150 web retail price. This one can be yours at $110 like it is. $145 with an ApostleP edge. That's the Tucson TS313. Well, if we had petrified fish and Tucson, it must be time for some Kizers, and it is. First among them, this knife. Oh, it's got the old label, hard to read. But what it is the V3508C1 Critical Mini. Scaled in olive drab canvas micarta. The accoutrement, aluminum, pivot collars, and backspacer in blazing hard anodized red. Clip will be deep carry right hand tip up. We have thumb stud deployment of a Warncliffe-ish blade. 154 cm is your steel. The blade length is 3 inches. Handle is 4 1/4. I got a stainless steel liner lock mechanism, locks up right there. Rock solid. Ball bearings. Centering's perfect. We'll say near mint to like new in box. These are out of stock. It is a, was it? No, this was not a White Mountain exclusive. But let's see. When they were available, they were $75 web retail. Let's do 60 on this one. 85 with an ApostleP edge. That's the Critical Mini from Kizer. Next up, another Kizer, and this one is a White Mountain Knives exclusive. This is the V5562A1 Cormorant XL for White Mountain Knives. Interesting set of scales, layered white and black G10 milled to reveal the white. Ambidextrous deep carry tip up clip. I think you can flip it. You can, or you can open it with a hole. Blade steel on the Cormorant XL is CPM 3V. Blade is 3 3/8 inches in length. Handle is 4 9/16. It is a button lock on bearings. Centering's dead down the middle. Lockup is rock solid. These have been discontinued for so long I could find no price reference, and there are none sold or for sale on eBay. I think $70 ought to get it. $95 if you like my edge. That is the V5562A1 Cormorant XL from Kizer by way of White Mountain Knives. Next up, another White Mountain exclusive from Kizer. This is the V4593E3 Tozer K. Pretty cool knife. Scaled in, ready for it, Chocolate Glacier Rich Light. Pretty cool. We got a button lock mechanism, ball bearings. In CPM 3V, we got a sheep's foot blade. And the length is 3 7/16. The handle is 4 15/16. The pocket clip will be ambidextrous deep carry tip up. I'm going to call this knife near mint. There is some little rubbing going on in the clip. That's it. Ball bearing mechanism. I guess you got to hole it open. Yeah, there you go. Can you Spidey drop this? Maybe not enough detail. Yes, there is. Yeah. Anyhow. The action, you can see it, very free and smooth. Lockup is rock solid. Do I need to tie? Ah, that's right down the middle. So we'll call it near mint. This White Mountain Knives exclusive is out of stock. When it was available, it was 89 bucks. Let's do 65 on this one, 90 with an TheApostleP edge. The Kizer V4593E3 Tozer K. Next up, well, we haven't had any Finch knives yet tonight, so here we go. The new box. Keep life from getting dull. Flipping the Finch. Okay. Here we go. This is the FN-LK350 Lucky 13 stainless steel bolster lock, scaled in smooth white cowbone. Yeah, gorgeous satin on those bolsters, I got to say. The clip is titanium, milled, tip up. Now, I don't think that these are scratches. I think that's how that clip was finished. I could be wrong. I don't know. It's interesting. Ball bearing flipper, flips nicely. Got a nice little stubby Warncliffe blade. Blade steel on the Lucky 13 is 154 cm. The blade length is 2.5. The handle length is 3 3/8. Lockup is rock solid. It is a stainless steel bolster lock and it works beautifully. The action is silky. The centering is perfect. The condition is near mint in box, because I'm not sure. We'll call that a scuff on the clip. Okay. These are out of stock. When they were available at a web retail of $135, let's do 95 bucks on this one. 120 with an TheApostleP edge. That's the Lucky 13 from Finch. Next up, we have one from Hogue Extreme. It is the Alan Elishewitz design model 34178 EX01 3.5 inch drop point with G-Mascus handle. Look at that. Beautifully jigged, I'm going to call it. G-Mascus. Like 2 or 3 different colors of green in there, layered up. So I got a manual button lock knife on phosphor bronze, designed by Alan Elishewitz. Sorry guys, I had to make a little pivot adjustment because I sensed the slightest bit of side play. Now we're all squared away. Great action, rock solid lockup, perfect blade centering. So we got a manual button lock on phosphor bronze, thumb stud deployment, 3.5 inch blade, 4.5 inch handle. Pocket clip right hand tip up. Stone wash. There might be a couple of scuffies on the clip. The blade has definitely been used, sharpened, scratched, and dulled. So it works fine. It's not over sharpened. We'll call it excellent, but it does it would really benefit from an ApostleP Edge. Web price of these brand new is $186. Let's do $130 on this one, $155 with an ApostleP Edge. The Hogue 34178 EX01 3.5 inch. Next up, now guys, don't make a liar out of me. It seems like every time I run one of these, there are people fighting over it. From Boker Plus, we see the magazine-shaped box. We see the Russian Army logo, right? It is a Boker Plus AKS 78 Warhawk automatic. The green, I'm not sure how they coat them. It's not hard anodizing. It's probably not brand name Cerakote, but it is OD green over aluminum. There's a little wear in that coating. Yellow firing button, red clip. Oh! The faux dagger in D2, 3¼ inch blade. So false edge on top when I say faux dagger. It fires a little lazily. I wonder if I shot a little KPL in there, would it get better? Let's see. Talk amongst yourselves. Let's see. All right, let's see. Much better. It's probably going to get better, too. Anyhow, there you go. There she is, boys. 3¼ blade, 4 3/8 handle. We'll call it excellent in box. Somebody's got these on sale for under 50 bucks, but not this cheap. All in, shipped, priority mail, no sales tax, 35 bucks, like it is 60 with an ApostleP Edge. The Warhawk Auto from Boker Plus. Next up, got one from Civivivi. The label says the model number is C20009B-A, and the model is the Bow, B-O. B-O. This reminds me a lot of a Ferrum Forged, is it the Gent? But it's got that same kind of slightly revealed stainless steel liners. Blue and black carbon fiber as your scales. Kind of gorgeous. The clip is going to be right hand only. Tip up deep carry. It is a ball bearing flipper. Blade steel is Nitro V. 2 15/16 blade length, 3¼ handle, so very efficient blade to handle ratio. Stainless steel liner lock and a ball bearing flipper. Rock solid lockup, perfect centering, and superb flipping action. We'll call it near mint to like new in box. In fact, let's just call it near mint. So I see some little pocket clip scuffs, very small. These are discontinued, not a stock. When they were available, they were 80 bucks web retail. Let's go 60 for this one, 85 with an ApostleP Edge. The Bow from Civivi. Next up, it is time to launch 3 times. From Kershaw, made in the USA. It's a Launch 11. Side folding, automatic switchblade. Black, hard anodized aluminum handle. Bronze anodized pivot collar. Ambidextrous tip-up pocket clip. Fires like a rocket. Black washed finish on the CPM 154 modified sheep's foot blade. 2 7/8 blade, 3 15/16 handle. Lockup is rock solid. Centering is perfect. Action is thwacky. We will call it like new in box. These are out of stock. When they were available, they had a web price of $120. This one can be yours. 90 bucks like it is, $115 with an ApostleP Edge, the Kershaw Launch 11 Auto. Next up, more Kershaw, made in America. It's a Launch 4. the California friendly launch is what this is. Look at that little sucker. Very small. Closed length. 3 1/8. Red firing button. On this one, the clip is going to be right hand only because it's too long. It would interfere with the works on the other side. So, button lock, automatic, DLC coated blades, CPM 154. 1 7/8 is your blade length. Lockup is rock solid. Heavy spring on that little knife. Centering is, I'm going to say, very close. You could probably make it perfect if you wanted. Action is beautiful. We'll call it near mint and box. These are currently available, I think, for $105 web retail. Kershaw map pricing. Let's do $80 on this one. $105 with an TheApostleP Edge. That's the Kershaw Launch 4 automatic. Next up, this is kind of the hot one of the launches. Made in America. This is the Launch 13. This is just a super well done knife. So you got your black hard anodized aluminum handle. You got tip up deep carry shorty pocket clip that is ambidextrous. Why couldn't they have put that clip on the 4? I don't know. But they didn't. Button lock auto, thwack. A very highly stylized Horncliffe blade, CPM 154. You got 3 7/16 inches of blade, 4.5 handle. Flies out like a rocket, locks up dead solid. Center's dead down the middle. Probably the nicest of the 4 launches here, and the most popular pattern. These are currently out of stock. When they were last available, they were $135 web retail. This one, $110 like it is, $135 with my edge. That's the Launch 13 Auto from Kershaw. Next up, from the Benchmade Knife Company, Oregon City, Oregon. I have a 533 BK-2 mini bug out. Okay? So, don't let the part number fool you. I don't have the original scales. This should have been a CF Elite knife, but it is wearing custom carbon fiber scales, and that sure looks like a titanium backspacer. I don't know what. It's a dark charcoal. It's either anodized aluminum or titanium. I don't know. The reason I know these are custom scales because there's no lefty holes. You got your shorty Parkerized deep carry clip right hand tip up only. You got your black Cerakoted blade, an S30V. It is a mini bug out, so the blade length is only 2 3/4, the handle 3 11/16. What a super nice little package here. Rock solid lockup, not quite a free dropping blade, but nice action. And centering is very close to centered if it's not dead. Very, very close. So, this knife with the plastic CF Elite scales is $162 web price. This scale and backspacer set had to cost at least $50, so somewhere north of $210. And it's near mint in box. Let's do $140 like it is, $165 with an TheApostleP Edge. The Benchmade 533 BK-2 mini bug out S30V and CF. Next up, we are going from mini to full size, if there is such a thing as a full size bug out. Here you go. It is the 535-3. We know this as the super bug out, I guess, right? Gorgeous satin carbon fiber, slightly crowned, blue hard anodized aluminum backspacer and thumb studs, Parkerized shorty deep carry clip that will be ambidextrous. The blade in naked S90V, and the blade length is 3 3/16. The handle is 4 3/16. The lockup is dead rock solid on the axis lock. Not quite a free dropper, but flingable as adjusted. Blade centering, perfect. Condition like new in box. So believe it or not, guys, this factory bug out now has a web price, Benchmade map price of $297. What did Kurt Russell say in used cars? That's too high. It is too high. $225. $255 with my edge. The Benchmade 535-3 bug out S90 CF. Next, we have reached the Rob's Pick portion of tonight's sale. And the Rob's Pick is kind of an odd one, but I just think it's awesome. It's from Benchmade. Now this says it's a 535 BK-2. I'm not sure what that is. Would that have been a CF Elite knife? I bet it would have been. But this is not wearing CF Elite scales. This is wearing some Doppler milled brass, and I don't know the manufacturer, but we've also got blue anodized hardware. Even the backspacer is brass. It is wearing a Parkerized Shorty deep carry clip. Man, has this been milled out? Let me look here. Yeah, it's fairly heavily milled out, actually. So it's not super heavy at all. There is your black Cerakote S30V blade. So you got a 3 3/16 blade, 4 3/16 handle, axis lock, phosphor bronze washers with thumb studs. Not a free dropper, but certainly flingable, and the action's perfect. Centering is very close, but I think it favors the left slightly. Let's see. So the price of the knife would have been $171 map. The scales and backspacer and hardware, I don't know. But got to be getting close to $250 invested here. And I know it's probably 4 ounces now. It's hardly a bug out anymore. But it's just freaking cool. And it has lefty clip holes. That won't matter to 80% of you. Anyway, let's do 160 like it is, 185 with an ApostleP edge. Benchmade 535 BK-2 bug out, S30 custom brass, we're calling it. Next up, more Oregon City, blue class. This knife, 470-1 Emissary, a knife beloved by people who have dexterity issues. So we've got black hard anodized aluminum scales. We have an axis assist mechanism. We have a polished deep carry tip-up ambidextrous clip. We've got axis assist with a safety. Touch it and off it goes. Spear point blade in S30V. 3-inch blade, 3 7/8 handle. Rock solid lockup. Strong spring. Perfect centering. Condition will be near mint in box. Here's why I'm saying not like new. I just feel like as I'm looking at this clip, I can't even say this is true, but it might have some slight like pocket cloth scratching. Very, very slight. You wouldn't notice it if I didn't mention it. Beautiful, beautiful little blade. Discontinued and out of stock. When these were last available, they were $210 web retail. Let's do 160 on this one. 185 with an ApostleP edge. The 470-1 Emissary from Benchmade. Next up, it's a black class Benchmade. It's the 8551 BK Mediator automatic. We got some pretty cool. Do we see Benchmade Anthem in there? I do. Kind of a mirror image chevron milling, black G10 handle, Parkerized Shorty deep carry clip that'll be ambidextrous, button lock auto with safety, saber ground. I'm going to call it a reverse Tanto in S30V. 3 1/4 blade, 4 7/16 handle, rock solid lockup, strong spring, Perfect centering. Yeah, that dog will hunt. We'll call it very near mint in box. Current web price of these things at your favorite retailer will be $288. Or just buy this one, $225 all in, shipped priority mail, $250 with an ApostleP Edge. That's the Mediator automatic from Benchmade. And the last knife in tonight's sale is the most special knife in tonight's sale. I got styrofoam fragments everywhere. This be a gold class Benchmade, and it's the 601-211 Tengu Flipper, designed by Jared Oser, and just check out how they've trimmed this gold class knife out. I have a shark leather blue stitched pocket slip with the backwards flag embossed. And here's the knife. Just look at that. What are we looking at here? Black and white marbled carbon fiber scales, blue G10 inlaid federal shields, blue anodized, blue sapphire anodized hardware and steel liners. The backspacer is a Raffir product, and I can't even tell you all that has going on inside of it, but it's kind of translucent. Oh wait, let's get to the blade. Yes. This is Bifrost Damasteel. Bifrost Damasteel. The designer is Jared Oser. The serial number is 1777. And it really sort of emulates a Chris Reeve Tanto in the way that it's sharpened. Very cool knife. Is it on ball bearings? I believe it is. Yes, it is. Ball bearing flipper. Liner lock. Gorgeous. So these were $550 web retail when they were available. They are discontinued and out of stock. By the way, the card inside says it was born May 12th of 21. It is like new in box, and it's not $550. Yeah. These are selling from around $400 to the mid sixes on eBay, sold listings. This one, $395 like it is, $425 with my Edge. The Benchmade 601-211 Tengu Gold Class Flipper. Let's just flip it again, shall we? Yeah. So, that is all for this one, my friends. Grace to you and peace from God our Father and the Lord Jesus Christ. Remember, the word is sharp. Now commence to click it. I'll talk to you soon.